Hello, Music Multiverse travelers, listeners. Welcome to a special edition Album Listen Challenge Best of 2023. We're going to go through maybe 10 of these before the year's out. But before we get into tonight's special edition, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Click the subscribe button. Hell, you'll be our new friend. Do some liking. You'll probably move into best friend status. You do some commenting, well, then you're one of us. Hope it doesn't scare you away. This Album Listen Challenge comes directly from me, the host. What it is I took two of the panelists and I said, I'm going to give you one of the albums that I consider up for the running of the best of 2023. Now, considering that we're almost halfway or more than halfway through, we're not going to get through all of them, but I picked some at random. So tonight is the first one. And my panelists tonight, Sue Kuligowski, my wife upstairs, and Deb Armitage Maloney from just down the road a little bit in our lovely area of Gettsville. So this Album Listen Challenge will be sort of the same. Those categories are still in there, but we're going to ask them to add a couple. So we're going to go in this realm. Album production, 1 to 5. Album flow, 1 to 5, which is familiar to everybody who watches the show, all 19 of you. Songwriting from 1 to 5, which is new. Musicianship, that's the same. Total number of songs that you really liked. I mean, doesn't that speak for it? I think it does. And then your overall rating, which is 1 to 5. Tonight, the album is Sleep Tokens, Take Me Back to Eden. For me, just so we have an idea, there's the band. So musically speaking, Sleep Token has been categorized, in a very wide bunch of genres, from alternative metal to post-rock, post-metal, progressive metal, indie rock pop. They incorporate elements of everything from tech metal and alternative to pop and R&B. What? Then somebody else said, this is a post-rock, post-classical, post-metal trope with soulful indie pop vocals. What? The band's label, Spine Farm, yeah, great name there, says, simply stated, in a world of form and genre, Sleep Token cannot be defined or confined. The band have been vague about their influences, simply crediting a plethora of artists as inspiration. But if you listen, Leprous, which no one's going to know in this panel, not even myself. Agent Fresco, I don't know who they are. How about Bon Iver? I know who that is. Meshuggah? Any raising hands? No. What about the Deftones?
Mm-hmm.
Cult of Luna? Explosions in the Sky? Absolutely. And Olafur Arnalds, to put a classical tint.
Mm-hmm.
So in this, the creator of the music, this fine, handsome, chested man, is Vessel. No one knows who he is. Although there's been some guesses that this might be Leo George Faulkner of Backlit Canopy. Does anybody know who Backlit Canopy is? No. So what do we have here? We've got a band that seems to emulate the idea of Kiss, Gwar, Slipknot, and Ghost, or Ghost BC as they've been known before they were able to use the term Ghost. This band is probably the hottest property on the market. If you follow this in metal, their fans swallow every single element of memorabilia down in about 5 minutes. If you're going to a show, you better go to the tent first to get the merch because it'll be gone. They played Download and they were the smash hit of the festival. Outrageously cool shows that are really something from what I can see from video, because obviously I've not seen them live myself. Can't wait to see them live. And here's my comment, as they were the number 14. Boy, that doesn't seem like you can see it.
No.
They are the number 14 record of the year for me at this point, and I'm wondering where they fit. Wow, this unknown musician's named band has completely fucked and blended genres in a splendid and often emotional wrenching that covers hip hop, alt metal, progressive rock, right back to straight ahead alternative and hard rock blues. The vocals straight in all directions, from incredible to poetic, to Drakean devil sucking soulless speak, to guttural nevermorns. A spectacle of a record that's compressed and exploded in nearly every track, even on the classical side. So, that being said, I now go to my panelists and say, what say you, Deb Armitage Malone?
Okay. Well, I made sure that I didn't pass judgment on my first way through this album. I listened to it the first time at work. I had some coworkers walk into my office at certain times and go, "What are you listening to?" And not in a good way. They were just coming in and hearing a snippet of something. All right. So then the next time I listened to it all the way through, I was at work by myself. And then I decided to listen to it today along with reading the lyrics, because I like to listen first and see if I'm catching what they're trying to throw at me. And then I like to see if I was right and my interpretation of it. My first couple times through, I did get the hint that it was very much about relationship issues, depression, conflict, toxicity, being haunted by ghosts of the past, regrets. But when you listen the first time without the full appreciation of the lyrics, you're maybe doubting yourself because the music itself doesn't always seem depressing or anguish or regretful. So it's confusing. There's a lot of transitions from very calm, almost ambient type feeling to the most aggressive things I've ever heard, but only in one of the songs, I have to say. As I listened to it more, I got used to it and I could see why the crescendos were where they were, why the change in his vocals, and they weren't as angry as one of the tracks that I ended up not liking. So I just have some comments on the songs themselves. I tried to rate them in the order that I like them, but every time that I listened, the order changed. So a little tough for me. So my first impression wasn't correct. I really did like Chokehold. That's the first one. And it's very emotional. And my first reaction to that song did not change the other times that I listened to it. I got a good feel of it, and that's every time I heard it, I felt the same.
That's probably the most accessible song on the recording, right?
Yes.
That's a radio song. It can be played there. I don't know who's got him in a chokehold, but it seems like everything does. So.
Yes, exactly. As I did my little synopsis of the whole album. The next song was Summoning, and it about a third way in, it surprised me because all of a sudden it turned kind of demonic on me. But then it cut back to a guitar and drew me back to how it was in the middle. And then 2/3 of the way through, back to that demonic thing. And then when it finished with the bass, I was like going like this. So it was it's confusing, but awesome at the same time. This third song was Granite, I believe. I did not like it the first 2 times at all, but the third time was a charm. I really
why
thought
was that? What was it at the beginning that tore you away?
In the beginning, it just seemed dull because of coming off the first 2 songs. It weren't. But when I listened to it the third time, I started to appreciate like the orchestration and there's harmonies in it that I didn't really hear in the first 2. And it had more depth than what I let it sink in the first couple times, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Now, the one I really liked, but it maybe is still second, is the Aqua Regia. And it has a lot of nice piano arrangements in it. But the definition of Aqua Regia is the mixing of caustic acid that can actually dissolve gold. So I took it as no matter how shiny something is, if you don't keep that toxicity out of there, it's not going to be shiny anymore. And
Ooh.
that goes back to what the whole theme of this album seems to me. You know,
I think you're right on with Vessel. Right on.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
You
it
guys
took
should
me till
probably
the,
hang out.
well, you know what? I'm not about looks, so that's good. Um, so, but at the end, I felt like the message was no matter how toxic in a relationship you're in and you get out of it, the human soul still wants you to go look for a relationship. You don't just cut yourself off from everybody. Some people do, but human nature is to be with another person. And that's, I kind of got that out of there. But the next song, no, I don't like the next song. Vor.
Mm.
Okay, I did not like Vor, and you referenced in the beginning, Mark, in your introduction, I had it already written down. I will send you my notes next time ahead of time so you know I didn't cheat, but I said Guar and Slipknot right away. And I don't like Guar or Slipknot. And the whole song was mostly that. I didn't
Yes.
like how they didn't just, some of the other songs, there's like a hint of it and then it pulls you back, but I didn't like
Yes.
that at all. No matter how, I could listen to that 40 times and I'll not like that song. It actually gave me anxiety. And I have enough on my own. So the next one was Ascension. And at the very
Perhaps that
beginning,
was the intent, though.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
You know how you
And-
want to take like life is and you want to take a breath, and the Vor says no. You will be not taking.
You got it. That's
Yes,
exactly
here comes some more
right.
stuff for you.
I do appreciate that now that you said that. So the next one, Ascension, I felt a little of MGK in there, Machine Gun Kelly in the beginning, the way he was like going, the way he's just not a rap, but
Speaking it quickly.
yes. But with a little bit of a melody and it's fast, but you need to stop and try to listen to the words so you pay attention more. I like that. But then there was a little bit of the Vor in there, and then that meanness and that anguish. But it was enough, just enough that I wasn't put off by it.
Okay.
I really liked Are You Really Okay? That had a really cool layering that underneath the guitar was like thank you from Led Zeppelin, the Led Zeppelin thank you song, all through it. I just kept hearing it. You know, I'm a Zepp lover. So as soon as the first like 3 notes, like, you know, I can name that tune, I went, that sounds familiar. And then as I listened to it more, I could hear it more, but it was always just beneath the surface, which I liked because there was other stuff going on above it. And they're very much into layering their stuff. So,
Yes, absolutely.
Apparition was more like the words on that was like a feeling of what is lost and you can't get back. I did like that one a lot, Apparition. The next one I really liked, I can't pronounce it. It's all
No,
upper.
it's actually the words in the song. Do you It's the lyrics.
Do you want to love me? Do you want to
Yes.
love me?
Yeah.
Yep. Yes. Unrequited feelings for a narcissist is how I look at it. I've been in that situation. So I think I wrote that song for them and I'll be reaching out for royalties. Rain was like a cycle of very toxic, unhealthy relationships and waiting for that person to be ready for an emotional connection. And it's just never going to happen because that person doesn't have the ability or the capability or whatever to do it. That's how I looked at that. The title track didn't do anything for me.
That was the shocker for me. I'm in the same boat. That's
okay. I didn't not like it, but I was unimpressed.
It's definitely not, you would think is the lead track. It would be That Which Is, right?
Yeah. So I kept thinking that I was listening to the wrong track because I thought this was the title track. So that was like a meh, who cares? And then Euclid, is that the last one?
Euclid.
That had a little in the very beginning reminded me of Elton John. And I just, it was like,
there's that pop.
It was, yeah. So that was my synopsis, as I say, of the songs themselves. So what I did was with the music production, I kind of used what the number of songs I liked and the number of songs I didn't. And I actually liked 11. I liked 10 out of 12. 11 was the title track that I went, I could take it or leave it. I never have to hear that again. So
Right.
I actually gave the album production a 5.
Okay.
The album flow, I did cheat a little bit to read about the band, and
Okay.
supposedly this is a third in a trilogy, they
Mhm.
said. Is that true, Mark?
I believe that is, it's funny to me, like these bands will say this, right? And I just think they might be in the same place, right?
Yeah.
And they're just comfortable with writing that stuff. It's sort of like Smashing Pumpkins telling me that
Yeah.
Autumn is from the last two, or not the last two, but from Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness and
Yes.
the Machine, whatever that machine.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, I don't buy it. I think it just they're all together, and it seems like maybe this is their 3 albums of this, and then they're gonna do something that's got,
Okay.
maybe lighter fare, or they're gonna feel happy. I don't know.
Okay. I was afraid that I was missing out on something like
But they
Lord of
they
the
probably, I
Rings.
mean, that's what they're saying. I mean, I get it. I get it.
Mhm.
I don't, yeah.
But I never heard the other one. So, but what,
I have the second record. I don't have the first.
okay. Have you listened to the
Um,
first?
no,
Okay.
The
I
first
didn't go
is
back.
Sundowning.
What?
Sundowning?
First-
Sundowning,
Sundowning.
yeah. I
That
have
is, yes, I saw. Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
the blue cover with the white, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that I was. What's the name of that album, Sue? Do you have it?
Sundowning.
Sundowning.
No, the second one.
Oh, the second is This Place Will Become Your Tomb.
Yeah, This Place Will Become Your Tomb.
Oh, I love that. That's my house.
Yeah,
Right.
that was but that was my first intro to them, right? But
Ah,
I didn't know anything about the Vessel thing. I just listened to the album. They got a lot of things going on. More metalcore
yeah,
for the most part. And then when I put on this one, I'm like, wait a second, what's whoa. Lot more
got it.
production, lot more attention to detail.
Okay,
Money was spent,
got
and
it.
yeah, for good reason. So,
Okay.
yep.
Well, I
What was a
mean,
what? What was what?
no, I didn't say, I didn't finish.
Oh,
The album flow, I liked how it was very layered and like kind of, you could tell that one song kind of related to the next one, but not so much because the end of the song went into the beginning of the next.
right.
More about the theme or the feeling of it. I think if I listened to it more and paid attention to the lyrics more, my rating on this would go up, but I'm at a 4 with it right now.
Okay.
Songwriting, amazing. I didn't even realize how much until I read the lyrics, and I'm a reader. A lot of metaphors. They definitely know how to use the thesaurus. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
The third time I listened with the lyrics, it elevated all of my scores here. It was some of it's poetry. He's well versed, well written, I think. I don't, especially when you're judging against like a rap song, but basically anything that's out there. I thought it was pretty good. Musicianship. Well, Vessel's voice, amazing. Love it. Um, he kind of reminded me at points like System of the Down, but not so
Mhm.
hollow and I guess morose. Even though the
Mhm.
lyrics can be morose, I didn't find his voice morose unless he was doing the Guar thing. Um, and then between him and his bandmates, what is it, a guitar, bass, and drum? I felt they were very cohesive with a lot of harmony that I didn't expect out of a band like this. Um, and the use of crescendos at the right time to get you
Oh,
excited about what's going to come next, but not too rapid, not too like catching you off guard, just a slow progression where you're going, okay, is he going to do the guar thing or is he going to keep it just below the guar? And most of the time it was below the guar level. That's my new rating, guar level.
are you Guarian?
So I actually gave musicianship 5. And I have to tell you, the very first time I listened, I liked 5 out of 11 songs or 12 songs. I like 11 out of 12 songs.
Mhm.
With one of the 11 being the title track that I wasn't all at, But my overall rating, yikes, who knew? 5.
Okay.
So I digress, Mark. Sometimes you
Hey,
are right, but Alex never is.
Poor Alex.
I got some people probably won't even listen to this album, but
They
and
should.
probably
They should. They should. I would not have listened to it, but I'm glad that I did, and I will listen again.
it was shoved down your throat at the last minute. No.
No, I had plenty of time. So I hope I didn't get too wordy, but I did my
No,
homework this
that's
time.
perfect. Very well
Okay.
done. Thank you, Deb. Now we'll go to Sue.
Okay, love her comments. She's
Oh,
much better.
sure. Well, Deb kind of said a lot of things that I had also gotten from the album. So I'm gonna try not to like repeat too much, but my first listen was in a car on a road trip. So I don't know if that's a bet. I don't know. I sometimes I can take in songs that way and sometimes I can't, but and I think, after the first listen through, I wasn't quite sure how I felt about it overall. Because for me, it was like a lot to take in. And maybe it's because I don't normally listen to albums like from start to finish all that much. I'm kind of always doing something, so I come and go. But so similar to Deb, my opinion on it changed a bit when I went through it again. I did not go into depth as much as she did, analyze every single song, but I did, get a lot of the same takeaways about the loss. And I also, the one song, Are You Really Okay? I think that one went really somber and like self-harm almost, you don't quite know what happened, but so that was interesting too, because some of those songs are so heavy and deep and eerie and maybe not dark, but I don't know. They're just very rich and powerful, and then you see a softer side to Vessel, which like it's her Vessel. But so he has a lot of range, and so it'll be interesting. I guess at some point in time, should probably go listen to the other albums, or again wait and see what comes out afterward if this is just one phase of the group. But I found, for me, I think Deb, you said that you felt like everything kind of fit together. And maybe it's because I need a third listen to it. I don't know. For me, I felt like it was disjointed in a lot of ways. Like every song was so different sounding, and maybe that's where I am right now because I didn't do the whole lyrical deep dive. And that would explain that.
Yeah,
But
actually that's where that came from for me, was
yeah,
the lyrics part of it, that I went, okay, I see what this guy is like trying to portray here.
mhm,
Not so much the instrumentation so much. I think the whole
mhm,
package.
mhm. Yeah, because the instrumentation is pretty strong.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
that's what you go, for me anyway, that's what you go to the first time.
Mhm.
And I didn't do song by song by song what I like, but my like top 3 probably were Choke Hold, Aqua Regia, and I did look
Mhm.
that up too because I'm like, I don't know what that means. And by the way, the videos are pretty cool too,
Oh,
to kind of watch and listen at the same time.
I didn't find the videos. That's good to know.
Yeah. So, and then Granite, and then similar to you, Bore is a big no for me.
Yeah, the minute they came out in the car, Sue was like,
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
she actually
can't.
sent me a screen. She sent me a selfie of how she felt about that song, but she didn't tell me that was the song. But I knew.
Okay. Yeah, you know.
I go,
It's like
yeah,
when you have rainbows and flags. Anyway,
exactly. Very
you know,
disturbing.
yeah. I should explain that more, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so while it seemed juddy to me, I didn't necessarily mind it either because I do like to listen to all kinds of different sounds. And it was kind of interesting that they could go from something like Chokehold, which was like a big stadium kind of metal song.
Mhm.
And then there you are, and Are You Really Okay? And it's like soft, low key, softer, and the lyrics are gentle. I think Roar, again, like the it's so interesting because that one even starts out, you don't know what you're gonna get. I mean, and then I don't know if he does that intentionally, that it's just like all of a sudden, boom, there it goes. But there was a no. I felt most of them, no matter what was going on, there was always kind of a balance between like that eerie and soothing. Somewhere in there, they fit it in.
Mhm.
The Aqua, I think Deb, you said and Mark, there's guitar, drum, there's piano on the
Mhm.
Aqua Regia,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I started with. Nice piano arrangement. I really liked
Yeah.
it.
And that
Yeah,
was like,
that's where we get that Olaf Arnolds kind of classical.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like it was you can tell it was like R&B, almost like an R&B background going on there. So
Yes.
that was
Mhm.
really nice.
Mhm.
Um, and then his voice, again, it's one of those unique voices that I don't think I love Take Me Back to Eden either, but I guess that kind of sets the stage for it, and you're never going to forget the voice now. And that, I guess, that carries every song through. It gives it some consistency, whereas the sound might change. Um, it's just recognizable. So that was kind of cool.
Agreed. Yeah.
But yeah, I had the same thing. I mean, there's so much symbolism going on and storytelling between the instrumentation and the lyrics that um, I would listen again. What did and we were texting back and forth about it a little bit at one point. But at first I was like, well, yeah, this would be good to like, be very active while you're doing something while listening to it. But the
Mhm.
more you do hear the lyrics, it is something that you can digest. Um, just maybe it's not something you're gonna sit down to after a long hard day at work.
I can
Yeah.
say that when I finished the third time through today, and then I was writing some notes, I did put it on in the background and I started getting used to it. Like when I wasn't really just paying attention and critiquing it and trying to get all
Yeah.
these details and stuff, then that was the fourth, I only went partially through, but the fourth
Mhm.
time through, I felt like I was familiar enough with it that nothing was like making me stop what I was doing to go, what's that? It just
Yeah.
was good to listen to it in completeness.
Yep.
We'll
So,
we'll do a meal to music to it, and we'll have blackened rice over crow.
oh no, no.
No, no.
All right, so my scores for album production, I did give it a 5. It's crisp, no matter what sound they're mixing in, they're using his voice. It just sounds nice. It works. The album flow, like I said, for me, I gave it a 3 because I felt like it was kind of all over the place. And again, I don't know if that's good or bad.
Right.
Um, so
And I have to agree with you because, like I said, later was my extra times through it. That
mhm.
like that, I was like a fourth. I went up a level the more I listened to it. So
Yeah,
maybe
no.
I'm in the trance, the cult. Okay,
It's
I'm in
drawing
the.
you in.
I'm,
Songwriting, a 5. Same thing. I mean, other than the bore, I don't know what he was saying in that, but lyrically, again, it was just poetry. So, musicianship, 5. I don't see how you cannot give it a 5. Um, total number of songs for me, I was 11 out of 12. And you can guess which one wasn't
same.
chosen.
Yep.
I, you know, maybe being slightly generous there. I'd say between 10 and 11 of 12, but I'll give it 11 of 12 because I can't really find fault with something.
Yes.
Um, And
That's how
then,
I felt too.
Yeah. And then, like the overall rating I gave it was a 4. You know, and I don't like to discredit an album because it's not like my thing. But you know, a note that I had made again is like I think these songs have mileage and they grow on you, and that's what you're saying, and I think that's
Yeah.
how it's just gonna go. So
And that's just gonna put it at a level where for anybody that takes the time to do this with them,
mhm,
to get excited for the next one. And maybe the
right,
next one you'll go, oh, we scored this one too high. That'd be great
right.
for them, right?
Yep, yep. So yeah, but the first, like I said, the first time I heard it, I'm like, why did he assign
Exactly.
us this?
I know, I thought it was a
Mark,
cruel
Mark,
joke.
Mark,
I
Mark.
thought it was a cruel joke. I thought maybe we made him mad. Maybe we made him do too much work at other types of things, you know, and he was like, I'm going to stick it to him.
Yeah,
But I'm pleased with it.
yeah.
So
Go, Mark.
you have become the voice in my head. Only recourse were left after death. Your viscera welcome me in, welcome me in. My life is torn, my bones, they bleed. My metaphor falls short in the end. Your flesh and bone welcome me in, welcome me in. Are you in pain like I am? Will we
That's
remain
Vor.
stuck in the throat of gods? Will the pain stop if we go deeper? So let's get swallowed whole. I want to go where nobody else will go.
Okay, that's Vor.
All the flesh so warm again. We step into my suffering. Blah, 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 blah. That's Vor.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
that one should just be struck from the album because it didn't do anything. I don't even care if there was a reason for it. My
Yeah,
reason for it is, I don't know, just to make me not want to listen to that ever again.
yeah.
The words don't even help. So the other songs, the lyrics helped
Mhm,
raise my
mhm.
score. That one, woo. Can I
Yeah.
count that as 2
That one
songs I
gets
don't
right under your
That's where I'm
skin.
like? Thanks for looking that up, Mark. I'm gonna have
I
nightmares.
thought I would, considering I once there's something about they call it something and it's escaping my mind now. It's obviously not called Glorian. I can't remember what we call it, but anytime that happens in music, I'm usually out. Really, I am too. It doesn't capture me. Although I will say Static X, due to the craziness of it all and how it's delivered by some tall spiked haired dude, you know,
Mhm.
and it's crazy, but I can hear the lyric. When
I can too. I agree.
yeah, the growling thing just doesn't, and there are a lot of bands that do it.
Mhm.
And then sometimes the melody is lost, and so is everything else. So,
Yeah, there's no melody.
so did I have anything else on this? No, I really don't. First of all, okay, so I gave it to the two of you because it is my opinion that I needed somebody else's opinion that is not in my wheelhouse, right? Of how I do these things. Sue will sit in the car sometimes and go, it's always dark with you, you know, or it's out, why is it, you know, what, you know,
Yeah.
so this is a darker album, but it's gripping. I thought the production was insane. And I thought it's worth this in there. Now, having you guys talked about it and gave a little bit more background of it and your opinions, it kind of makes me feel like maybe the place where it's at is in there somewhere that makes sense.
Mhm.
Especially in an audience where, you know, I'm sure when they write this stuff, they're probably feeling that their audience is not going to be dominantly female. Although from the videos I see of my performances, seem to be 50-50 split. And there are a lot of female people that I follow on Twitter through Beyond Your Radio that are enthralled with this band and over the top. They love that. So I don't know if it's the bare-chested guy and he's all muscular, but it's enrapturing. So what
I
we've
didn't
got,
really
I
look that
believe,
up, so
yes, well, I'm sure you didn't go searching that out.
no, I
So
didn't.
5, 4, 9, 14, 19, 24, and 20. Wow, I can't math today.
Maybe that's
22.
what you can call your photo deb of your flagpole and the rainbow is boar
Cool.
instead of four, like boar.
Oh, like golf?
Yeah.
It's funny.
Sorry.
So I want to thank my panelists for doing this. In 2 weeks, I've assigned 2 other panelists another top album. They'll be doing Gord Downie and Bob Rock's Luster Parfait. Obviously, I gave that to Mr. Chef Jeff Johnson due to the fact the comment he made about, you guys don't think I'm paying attention, do you? But in fact, he is. So he's starting to realize the power of the Tragically Hip. So we'll see where that goes.
That's awesome.
We're on the web at www.beyondyourradio.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, yes, even LinkedIn. Thank you again for doing this and listening to us. We'll see you soon. Happy listening.
Bye.